concerns you. But look, he's got ability, hasn't he? Like Jamie said, though, I don't. Well, what's his strength? Does he cut inside and smash it in the top corner? Can he beat him? I don't know. Does he link? Possibly links, possibly with a centre forward. All right, little nice passes down the side of people, but no, I'm just not.
There's times as well where he beats his man and then just brings it back in front.
That's a pace thing, though.
Yeah,
you can't get away from him. He has probably got the skills to go past someone, but they catch him.
Let's just end this now rather than hold on.
I'm not sure Ratcliffe gets involved that much. I think he just leaves it to the people he's got in charge.
Just sacks off all the teenagers. I tell you what,
we'll edit that one out.
We'll get back to Scholesy in just a quick second, but remember, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. And don't forget to click the notification button so that you know when the next Big D video hits. And as ever, if there's something on your mind, if something is bubbling up inside of you that you need to express, please express it in the comments. The Big D reads all of the comments and he's always interested in what is on your mind. Anyway, in this clip, Scholesy, Carra and the fans debate who Manchester United's worst ever signing has been, with one particular individual being the absolute prime favourite. Also, there's a little discussion about whether or not Jim Ratcliffe may or may not sack Ruben Amorim. But stick around for after the clip because the Big D is going to be giving his thoughts on these two subjects. Here they are.
I'll be them, but I've also got one. I don't know if it's a hot take about this season, but Jadon Sancho is the worst signing Manchester United have ever made, and there's big competition for it. Obviously, we spent 80 million on Antony, who's useless anyway, but for me, Jadon Sancho is just the biggest waste of space I've ever seen in a Manchester United shirt, especially when you consider his ability that he has. For him to just be so... Talking about freedom when he left Chelsea, and then you look at him now barely getting off his arse to leave the club. I just think he's a disgrace, and I can't wait to see the back of him.
You know, it's funny with Sancho, because he got the reputation in Borussia Dortmund. I always go back to, me and Gary were on Sky on a show, and they asked us to pick an England squad or something. And we hadn't seen Sancho play too much. He was in Dortmund, doing really well in the Champions League, and we didn't put him in our squad. And I remember on social media, how can you not put... Everyone was just in on Sancho. And when you're saying the worst signing because of his ability... I'm not sure there's much ability there, as in, I think he's okay. I don't understand what his thing is. So I've been critical of Marcus Rashford, but if I picture Marcus Rashford playing well, I can picture his pace, I can picture a shot, I can picture him taking a free kick and hitting the ball really hard. I don't know what Sancho's thing is. Every player, I think, has got something. You might not like certain things. I can't think in my head what Sancho does.
I think it's his ability to dribble in tight spaces.
I've never seen it in my life.
But I think the Premier League isn't...
No, I haven't.
I think that the Premier League, he's not made for the Premier League. He's too slow for the Premier League. And you look at the Premier League now, how quick people are. And one of the red flags should have been, whenever you see a team counter-attacking in Germany, they've got the whole half of the pitch free, and it's just them running down the ground. And it's like, hold on, we should have clocked here that he's running at nobody at defences at times. But yeah, he's just been a massive disappointment. We've had loads of disappointments. Look, I don't think Harry Maguire's ever really lived up to the price tag, but you look at him and he's a consummate professional who really wants to be at Manchester United and will fight for his spot, never chucks his toys out of the Prem. And you had this guy talking about, oh yeah, I'm finally free from Man United, and Chelsea give us 5 million just to not have to sign him. And he's still stinking the gaff out now, and I just can't stand him, and I just can't wait till he... Villa are making a massive mistake by taking him.
Villa seems a really weird fit to me, considering Emery's kind of track record of being able to... Emery, to be fair, has got a great track record of bringing players back almost from, not the edge, but improving them, players that have failed elsewhere. But he also wants that 100% commitment and hard work, which, you don't know the ins and outs of Sancho.
Emery might be good for Sancho.
I think he would, but I think it's weird to take the
risk. I think it's a weird side. You talked before about size of pitch for him as well. Villa Park's massive.
I know, that's what I think. Like Old Trafford, big pitch. If you've got a lack of pace, it really stands out.
Lack of pace, a lack of legs, it concerns you. But look, he's got ability, hasn't he? Like Jamie said, though, I don't... Well, what's his strength? Does he cut inside and smash it in the top corner? Can he beat him? I don't know. Does he link? Possibly links, possibly with a centre forward. All right, little nice passes down the side of people, but... No, I'm just not.
There's times as well where he beats his man and then just brings it back in front.
That's a pace thing, though. You can't get away from him. He has probably got the skills to go past someone, but they catch him. I mean, he can't go on again that further.
Bad sign as well, isn't it, that the Chelsea ownership have decided to pay money to not sign him.
Yeah.
Like, bad.
Didn't he want the same wages as Palmer? Is that
He
part of the
wouldn't
reason
take a hit at all on his wages. Yeah, it's
Idiot.
It was the same at Roma, wasn't it, as well? He would refuse. He refused to go to Roma.
Yeah, because of the wages.
Because of the wages. It's outrageous. Go play.
why? And prove that you can't do it. So I think we're going to get there first and win something.
Simon, I've got to go to you.
So, yeah, I mean, I may have to defer to you this on this, because you probably know more than I do. I think the reason Amorim will still be in charge at the end of the season is nothing to do with results. It's because Jim Ratcliffe doesn't want to show face. Like, he's a business owner, and he probably thinks, I know better than the fan base. I built all these $1 billion, I presume it is, businesses. So the reason he'll stick with him is because that's his first big decision he's made. And if he holds his hands up and say, I got it wrong too, like the Glazers got it wrong, just watching some of his interviews, that's why I don't think I think he'll keep him based on arrogance.
I'm not sure it was his decision. I think a lot's made
that's
of.
different.
No, but I think is it?
Barada and
Yeah.
Wilcox.
I think it was Barada's decision. I mean, you might know more than me, but
That's what I wanted to defer to you about.
There was a lot of talk about Amorim when there was talk about Pep potentially moving on, and Amorim potentially being there, and Barada left there. So maybe there's something in that. I think Ratcliffe would stick with him, but if we are mid-table or lower, like by Christmas, I think you've got to,
I think he's
hear
gone
the
by
alarm bells
January.
ringing.
I do. I really do.
I think it was a Jim Ratcliffe
There's something there to it. Because didn't he sack your director of football because he wanted Southgate instead of Amorim?
No,
Because,
I don't know
Ashworth.
if it was all about Southgate, but again, with that Ashworth thing, I kind of thought, why are you bringing him in if you're going to get rid of him straight away? But then I can kind of respect if you think something's not working after a month going, let's just end this now rather than hold on.
I'm not sure Ratcliffe gets involved that much. I think he just leaves it to the people he's got in charge.
Just sacks up all the tea ladies.
I tell you what,
we'll
instead
edit that one out.
Man United's worst ever signing. There are quite a few candidates for this, really. I mean, you could throw Antony in there. You could throw Onana in there. You could certainly throw Sancho in there. Fair enough. I remember back in the day when one of Man United's worst ever signings was Juan Sebastian Veron. We paid 30 million for a player who we thought was going to be the next Zinedine Zidane, and he just wasn't that. But looking back, he was actually a good player, and he would have suited the team 10 years on from when he'd signed. If he played in the 08 team, he would have been an absolute world beater. But that being said, he was class for United anyway. It's just that we didn't appreciate him. The Premier League wasn't ready for Juan Sebastian Veron. I mean, Diego Forlan, we paid a little bit of money for him, but he got the winner against the Scousers and against Chelsea. I mean, Harry Maguire, as Adam talks about there, Harry Maguire's been a good player for us. He's not an £80 million defender, of course, but he is a good player. And it's not his fault that United were taxed an extra 30 million on what his actual worth is. So I'm not going to put Harry Maguire in there because I like Harry. And he's a good pro, he's a good influence, and he's a good defender, and he's relatively consistent. And he done really well for England as well. So, yeah, I like Harry. Antony, the thing is with Antony, I'm inclined to give Antony a little bit of slack because, again, it's not his fault that United overpaid for him. Plus, also, he did all right in his first season, but then in his second season, he had some personal issues. So it just never worked out for him. And it's the same with Rasmus Højlund as well. It just hasn't worked out, even though we've played a lot of money. Jadon Sancho is a big candidate for this because he's done nothing. He's literally done nothing. He's barely played. When he has played, he hasn't really done anything. He's done nothing but moan, and he's on a big wage. And he's got a bad attitude, and he's always had a bad attitude. It's like he was scouted to be a right winger, and then he comes to the club and he insists on playing on the left. Did he not know why he was coming? Now, I've seen him play. I've seen him play in his pomp at Borussia Dortmund. I went to a Borussia Dortmund game with my ex-girlfriend once. She was German. Or she is German. But she was German in the sense that she was my ex-girlfriend. Because her dad knew a season ticket holder at Dortmund. And they sorted us out, and we had a really nice time. It was a good game. Dortmund won 2-1. It was bouncing. There was about 90,000 fans there. The yellow wall was in full effect. There was flares and all kinds. The atmosphere was electric. And plus also, because this Dortmund fan was a fancy pants businessman. We were in the fancy pants posh end. So the food was fantastic and the beer was brilliant. And you could take your beer into the stands as well. Oh, it was just brilliant. And Jadon Sancho played really well. And this was around the time where Jadon Sancho was first breaking onto the scene. And I watched him and he scored and it was a good goal and he played really well and he was hard working. And from there, I was buying him on Football Manager and he was doing well for me on Football Manager. And then United were interested in him and I was really excited. We paid the money and then that was that. But it just hasn't worked out. I mean, there is a little bit of sympathy for Jadon Sancho in that if he played in the Ollie team when it was at its pomp, when we were initially meant to sign him, then I think it might have worked out. We might have at least got a season out of him. But as soon as Ronaldo came, that was a spanner in the works for everyone. So there is that little bit of empathy for some of these players because Man United, it's just been chaotic from day one. And some players need to step into an organisation that's calm, that's structured. Everyone knows where they're going. Everyone knows what they need to do. Everyone knows where the ship is sailing and all of that kind of stuff. And to his credit, not his credit, to be fair to Sancho, he stepped into a chaotic environment. That being said, he should have put a lot more effort into playing well for Manchester United. Now, he can do it. But in the Premier League as well, I can't help but think he didn't suit the Ten Hag system. He doesn't suit the Ruben Amorim system because I don't think he's got the work ethic for it. I think he's a lot like Rashford and Garnacho in that if you play a counter-attacking style where he's got room to run, then that's when you would see the best of Jadon Sancho. But then again, who knows? Maybe he's just overrated and he shone in the German league because the German league is an inferior league to the Premier League. So it could be that as well. But yeah, I mean, I can't really think of anyone that's worse than him. And at least we got some moments out of Paul Pogba. At least we got some games out of Andre Onana. And at least it looked like he was putting the effort in, even though he was just crap. So, yeah, I can't disagree with Jadon Sancho. But what do you guys think? Thoughts in the comments, and the Big D will see you in the next one.